think I'm starting. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and this is week 8 of Miss Anime Seasonal Podcast. I finally remembered to use the right moniker this time, so you guys are welcome for that. Before we start, I just want to point out to everybody that before we start, I just want to mention that for some reason last week I completely forgot about Tomodachi Game. I don't know why. I can't find the slip. It's not in the bag. I have no idea why that is. I'm just not sure because it was in the bag, but now it's not. I don't know if it's stuck. I don't know if I missed it. But anyway, I really like this week's episode. I like the idea that, basically Yuichi's gonna have to go out of his way to leave Tenji behind in order to make this plan work. And that scene of Tenji just sitting there being tortured, that was really brutal. Like, you can tell, like this whole plan banks on Tenji not knowing whether or not he's truly being abandoned. And that's just, it's both heartbreaking and extremely brutal at the same time. We are also in a new game. We're in a game of hide and seek now. And I have a feeling that it's going to be not as straightforward because these games are never straightforward. And I have a feeling that, he's already said he's going to switch sides, but I have a feeling that he's gonna, that he has some way to, cause they said that when you switch side, you lose your right to win, but I have a feeling Yuichi knows a way, I know he knows a way around that. And I'm also curious about Maria because it's clear that Maria is one of the administrators. She's the pink-haired one, I think. And I'm wondering if Yuichi clearly knows that, but I'm wondering if she's able to participate or not because they haven't made that clear yet. And I'm wondering if her goal is to tempt Yuichi or tempt the other players to switch sides because that'll be interesting. And secondly, Dance Dance Censure is... I missed this week, but I promise you I will add to next week. But anyway, we are going to make up for the fact that I missed Tomodachi Game last week. I'm going to balance it out by missing one this week. But then next week, I promise you guys I'm going to go back to doing them all. Next one. Spy Family. Oh my god. So we finally met Yora's brother. I love her brother. He's adorable, and I think it's completely hilarious that he's such a cis-con that when she comes home covered in blood, the only thing he notices is the fact that she got him a dictionary. She got him an encyclopedia, and that's all he cares about because he basically the whole episode is just a dick measuring contest between him and Lloyd. I think that's so funny. Also, I just want to point out again that this is the second time Kensho Ono is voicing a character named Yuri who basically his job is to kill people. Not necessarily to kill people, but basically, I just want people to let that sink in because I find that extremely funny. That this is the second time. I like him. Although one thing I have to note is that I thought originally in the postings, thought originally in the pictures I saw online, he looked nothing like her, but no, he looks like her, which still makes me beg the question of why his last name is different. But maybe it's because Yura Breyer is her real name. I forget. I think maybe that's her real name. I'm not sure. But anyway, we're moving on to the next thing because Spy Family is cute. There's not a lot to unpack here, but it's going to be a contest between I'm sorry. I got off of a long day of work, and I'm sorry if I'm a little bit spacey right now. But basically, Lloyd knows that Yuri is of the secret police, and I like their explanation of how he knew that, because he knows pretty much every espionage tactic and how it works, and what they say to each other, and I think that's really clever. But anyway, moving on to the next thing. Reaching into the bag, and that is Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush. I might skip Go Rush until something happens, because basically this show is just the only thing of interest that happened is that the cat, who I'm tempted to call them to name, and if you know DC characters, you will know what I'm going to call her. But I'm tempted to do that, but I don't know if anybody would get that reference. But she said something was off about the duelist this week, and that may be interesting. But other than the alien and his cat, which I still say it reminds me of my favorite DC character, and I find that really funny. But other than him, nothing really of interest has happened in this show so far. There's no plot, basically. An alien showed up, and that's pretty much it. I like the idea of aliens being introduced into the series, but other than that, so I'm probably going to skip that show until something interesting happens. Anyway, summertime rendering. So, I was right about, he's in I never heard that name. I originally thought I had spelled that name wrong, but nope, that's her name. So, I was right that she has they call it a split personality, but I get the feeling that her brother is her shadow. Like, I get the feeling that her brother was somehow the shadow. I don't know. But she shares a body with her brother, basically, or the spirit of her brother. And I was right about that. I'm also interested that once you kill your shadow, you're immune to being devoured by the shadows. I'm not sure I believe that. I think maybe the old, what's his face? I think he might be making that up, but that should be interesting to find out. The one thing I'm bothered by is the fact that they've already revealed who the killer is. Like, at least it wasn't like in Kill la Kill, where it was halfway through. At least this was towards the end of the series, so I can take that a little bit more than like if they revealed it in episode 4. But I'm a little bit bothered because they're revealing all the trump cards now, and actually I think this show is going to be a long form show. I don't know, but I think maybe the show is going to be a long form show. So I'm a little bit bugged by the fact that the show, they've already revealed both of their major trump cards halfway through, so I'm not sure how they're going to, what else can they do? Maybe we find out that this Shinpei is actually a shadow, which actually would make sense. But other than that, I like it. I don't hate it. I just, they're pushing out information too fast, and they're pushing out information, there's 5 episodes left, at least. So, we do still need to meet Mother. We do still need to meet, the Shadow Leader. So, maybe that'll be something. But, it bugs me how quickly this is going. Next thing is Dead Alive. It's clear to me that Mikuru has been alone for so long that she latches onto the first person that she sees, who is Shido. And she's pretty much doing anything in her power to not let go of him, including erasing people's memories and trapping them in a dystopian world. I think this is a form of trauma bonding, because whatever happened to her in the past, she is fucked in the head. She's like really fucked in the head. And I actually kind of appreciate that, because it's going to take a lot more than what they've been doing to get her over it. So I'm interested to know what else they can do. But now he has his pretty much complete harem. So now we should be at the point where we're starting to introduce the actual plot. So I want to know what this show pulls, because we're like 5 episodes from the end. So, you know, I don't think they're going to introduce any more shadows, at least yet. Not shadows. I don't think they're going to introduce any more spirits. Speaking of spirits, Shield Hero 2, I kind of liked what they did this week. So basically, Kyo is not, not only is he not dead, but he's still kind of lurking from the shadows. And I think strategically separating Naofumi from Raphtalia is a really smart move, because they're strong together. They're a combo. So if you take her away from him, you're basically leaving him with nothing. And he doesn't have Philo. You know, he has what's her name? Kizuna, I think, but Kizuna doesn't know him. So she doesn't really have any attachment to him. So he's basically been dropped and stripped of everything he's attached to, every single person, all of his powers. So he's gonna start from the ground up. And I wish they'd done more with the villain this week. I wish they'd done more with his subordinate, because I liked him. I thought he was creepy. But so far this season has been just really not very interesting. And it's sad, because the first season was actually really strong, but it's clear that they need to pad, and they need to figure out a way to draw everything out. Well, no, that's what padding is. But it feels like padding to me, because we haven't gotten anything more about the waves. We haven't gotten anything more. Also, I have a question. I thought and this might be from the beginning of the season, if I thought multi could only be referred to as bitch from now on. Like, I literally thought that was a legal binding. So why are they not referring to her as that? When she shows up, they don't refer to her as that. So did the author just drop that? Or I know it seems petty, and I know it seems tiny, but it's like, it's continuity, so I want to know. But moving on to the next thing from the bag, and that is Build Divide Code White. So I was right in a sense, in that I believe that their bodies are we meet the villain, basically, and the villain is your stereotypical evil nut job. I don't mind that. I think it's very interesting, but he's clearly doing something bad, because they're making their way towards the tower, and when they get to the tower, they have to fight themselves. I don't really understand that. I don't understand why. Maybe it's an illusion, like maybe it's to force, maybe it's because, I don't know. But I also have a problem with the fact that we don't know any of these characters. Like, we haven't gotten any actual development for any of these people. The only ones who got developed are the Miko girl and her sister. Other than that, I don't know where they came from. I don't know why I care about them. I like the idea, and I like the fact that they have to go and rescue Teruto. who I have a feeling they're going to have to fight him because he's under the tower's control. And I have a feeling, that's going to come into play in the next couple episodes. I also find it a little bit disheartening that they're not pushing the idea of Kika being the one to go and get him. Because, yeah, it's nice to see her have to stand up for herself and atone for herself. But I thought the entire point was that she had to face her fears. But now they're sending Hiyori, which I don't necessarily think is a good story decision. But we'll see where this goes, because I'm interested to see what the final outcome is. And next up on the docket is Virgin Road. So I have a feeling that this girl who we're seeing is not the real Manon. I have a feeling the real Manon was the one in the chamber, because you remember they lured that girl into the chamber and they shut the door and they just stuck her to spikes, which is really creepy. And now they're gonna have to go and I like they're trying to figure out what this monstering goes. At least they're doing something with the plot. The problem is it feels like arc hopping. It feels like we're going from trying to kill this girl to trying to stop someone from using her powers, to trying to stop this girl from destroying Menno, and it's all over the place, and I don't think this show has any idea what it wants to be, and I don't think this show has any idea of what its story entails. And it bothers me because the core concept is very interesting. I just don't think I don't think so. I like the art. The art is okay. I just really, really, really wish they'd pick a lane and stick with it. But anyway, Mahotsukai Remiki. Nothing is still happening. And it's just the characters sitting around talking. Basically. And it's very boring. And at this point, I don't even care what's going on. I am just finishing out the series because I legit just want to get it over with. And finally, Greatest Demon Lord Reborn as a Typical Nobody. I kind of like what they're doing. I like the fact that the warlords want him back, want Ard back. So they're basically doing whatever they can to revive him, which means they're trying to kill him, I guess. And they're using the people around him to do it, which and now Sylvie's sister is a sword. I found that very weird. Like, I hope we find out why he killed her, or if that was actually, even true, because I want to know. Basically, I want to know if he actually killed her, or if it's just an illusion he made, and now he's dead, and now I guess we'll have to deal with the other three warlords. Honestly, I'd much prefer to watch Jenny, because I think she's cute, and I like the idea of her having to learn magic, and having to learn to stand up for herself, and deal with her own issues. That was very interesting. But other than that, that's it for this week. Like I said, I didn't get to the episode of Dance Dance Censure, but I want to get these episodes out every single week before the week is over. So if you guys like this content and you guys want to see more of it, I have a I'm trying to work on my speaking. I have a podcast called The Media Pit, where I basically go over all the movies and the media I'm watching. I have I have an upcoming podcast called The Anime Pit. Honestly, I should just get a co-host because I'm having trouble speaking. But I have The Anime Pit, which is coming up at some point. I have a gaming channel where I basically play whatever games I can get my hands on. I also have a Tumblr where my asks are always open. I have an Instagram. I have a Patreon. And one more thing, I might, depending on how this goes, I might be merging these podcasts into one because these podcasts are very short, and I think part of the problem for people is that, for me is that, I don't have a lot to talk about, and I want enough to talk about to fill up an entire podcast. So I might be merging the Media Pit and the Anime Pit into one. It depends on how things go and how popular this ends up being. But that is it for this week, and I will see you in next week's round of anime roundups.